Let's see. Welcome, Daniel. Welcome, Buddha and all the friends online. Greetings to all. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Ratanataya. Nice to see you all here. Thank you for joining in. So, I think as it's like the last Tuesday of the month, we shall start with some small chanting today. And allow me to quickly share the screen. Mm. Sorry for the delay. Thank you, wonderful. Can start with paying homage to the Buddha. And before we can bow down together to the Lord Buddha. Araham Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namami. join in. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Iti piso bhagavaraham samma sambuddho Vichacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu Anuttaro purisadhamma saharathi sattha devamanu sahanam buddho bhagavati Swakhato bhagavata dhammo sandetiko akaliko ehipasiko upanaiko pachatam veditapo vinyuhiti Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka saṅgho Ujupatipanno bhagavato sāvaka saṅgho Nyāyapatipanno bhagavato sāvaka saṅgho Sāmicipatipanno bhagavato sāvaka saṅgho Yadidam chatari purisa yugani atha purisa pugala Esa bhagavato savaka sangho ahuneyo pahuneyo dakineyo anjali karaniyo Anuttarang punyang ketam lokasahati. Now, if you would like, you can request for 3 refuges and 5 precepts. And for requesting, you may repeat after me. Mayam aye visum visum rakhanataya Tisarnena saha panchasilani yachama Dutiyampi mayam aye visum visum rakhanataya Tisaranena saha panchasilani yachama Tatiyampi mayam aye visum visum rakhanataya Tisaranena panchasilani yachama. Now, you can repeat after me. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. You can simultaneously chant with me and follow my lead when I share the 3 refuges. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyang pi buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyang pi dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyang pi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Trisaranagamanam paripurnam. The 3 refuges are complete. Now I offer 5 precepts. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinadana veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami. Kamesu michachara veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami. Musavada veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami. Sura mere majapamadhana veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami. The 5 refuges that I spoke in Pali were, I undertake, like for you I'm repeating, I undertake to observe the precept to abstain from killing any living being. I undertake to observe the precept to abstain from taking what is not given. I undertake to observe the precept to abstain from sexual misconduct. I undertake to observe the precept to abstain from false or harmful speech. I undertake to observe the precept to abstain from intoxicants causing carelessness. You may bow down 3 times. It says, Principal teachings of the Buddha. Sabba papasya karanam kusalasa upasampada sachita paryodapanam etam buddhana sahasanam. Not to do any evil, doing what is good, purifying the mind. This is teaching of all Buddhas. Honor to the parents. Ananta guna sampanna janeti janaka upo maiham mata pitunam va pade vandami sadaram etena sachavachena sada suti bhavantu me. Both fathers and mothers are possessed of virtues without limit. I reverentially salute the feet of my mother and father. By the power of this truth, may I always be well. Honor the teachers. Acharya hunti gununtara nusasaka panne pannavudhi karete te dinno vade namamiham etena sachavachena hotu me jayamangalam. Teachers are the exalted transmitters of the knowledge and skills. I pay homage to these advisors who cause understanding to flourish. By the power of this truth, may I gain blessings and victory. Metta Bhavana radiation of loving kindness. Tape Satta Sukhita Huntu Avera Huntu Abhyapacha Huntu Anika Huntu Sukhiyatanam Pariharantu. All living beings, may they be happy. May they be free from animosity. May they be free from oppression. May they be free from trouble. May they look after themselves with ease. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now, with this beautiful vibrations that we have settled in, with the pure virtues that we have taken, with the refuges, with the contemplation, first of all, of the triple gems, let us bring our entire attention, our mindfulness back into our body and sit in the comfortable position. Let us first settle in the present moment, in the reality of the present moment. Every moment is passing by. With each and every breath, as it comes in, as it goes out, so make the best use of this incoming breath. How to make the best use of it? No matter how strongly we want to hold on to it, make it stop. Say, that would not be really possible. That would not be the most meaningful way. that would not be the most easeful way. Being so close to the life and knowing how sensitive aspect it is to have this breath as it comes in and let it go as it goes out. Perhaps all we can do is stay completely with it. Feel it, live it, let it go. Using this breath to connect with our entire body, allowing it to come through the nose but spread across all our face, head, spreading into the hands, to the entire torso, below our legs, till the tip of the toes. You don't have to force it back out from the nose, but you can just perceive it as spreading out from those parts of the bodies. Like the entire body breathing in, entire body breathing out. As the body and the breath meets at different parts of the body, with the contact of the breath to the different parts of the body, there arises feelings. Allow yourself to feel all those feelings that as they arise, as they stay, and as they pass away. Knowing it fully, being aware of it, and allowing it to follow its natural course while being sensitive to it. any feelings, pleasant or unpleasant or neutral, knowing their nature, their impermanent nature, and thus not getting entangled with greed or aversion, greed or distress with reference to the feelings. With each breath, as it comes in and as it goes out, allow the mind to be sensitive also, gently calming down, dropping off all the weights and burdens that are not really needful or useful at this moment. Anything and everything that is weighing the mind down. Just staying in this present moment, knowing the breath as it comes in and as it goes out. Relaxing the body, relaxing the mind. Separating it from the internal or external preoccupations. Keeping different thoughts, ideas, information with regards to the world aside. Just being in this present moment. Delicately understanding that how once this moment is gone, it's gone. By not falling into the sorrow of moving on, moving forward with so many breaths, not having sorrow of missing out or blanking out or not having mindfulness in the past, so many incoming and outgoing breaths. but with a healthy attitude, with a grateful attitude. Be with the present moment, the incoming breath and the outgoing breath. Our dear friend who has been sustaining us for a long time. Just being with it. Knowing how wonderful life, how wonderful gift of this birth that we got, where the Buddhasasana is still alive, where we are in association with the Buddha's teachings, where there is Dhamma, where there is Sangha abiding so close, where we are blessed to have association with the Sangha, where we ourselves are growing in Sila, virtue, where we are growing in concentration, Samadhi, where we are growing in wisdom, Panya, and with our own direct experience, we are seeing how fragile the life is, how we are just connected with this small incoming and outgoing breath. How we are offered a blank paper in every present moment with the pen of karma. Create any beautiful or any drawing that we want, any karma that we want by our body, speech, or mind. And as we all understand the consequences and how every action that we do, every seed of karma that we sow, that's the result that we are going to get in the future. Understanding this, let us share our merits. Let us share our peace with the world, with all living beings, with all sentient beings, visible, invisible, devas, or in the lower realms, or any manusas, human beings, people who are noble, people who are ignoble, people who are friendly, neutral, or hostile, those we know, those we don't know, in all beings, regardless, in all directions, receive our shares of the merits. May this gift that is made from such a pure space, a space and understanding with wisdom, may their hearts be touched by this sensitivity, and may they all find the right way of living this pure Dhamma. May all, by the shares of merit, have the opportunity to grow in Dhamma and experience its best fruits. May this help them to be conscious of how important the karma is, how rare this life is, how valuable our each action is. May there be some vega in them. May there be awareness arising in them. And may all living beings with such a cautious mind and heart cultivate their minds and body in a skillful direction, in the direction of nirvana, ultimate happiness, ultimate peace. May no being wish for the unhappiness, harm of any other being. May all beings come out of their greed, aversion, and delusion and look at each other with the kindly eyes. And may morality be rooted in their heart, not just to show others, but for their own benefit. May they align with their heart's true nature. All those beings who are living, who just pass away, who are in the transition to be reborn, may all receive our shares in the merit, and may this share in the merit help them lead to a good destination. And help them associate with the pure Dhamma that can lead to their long-term welfare and happiness. May all living beings know that this auspicious share of the merit has been happening, and those who don't know, may devas share with them. May all beings receive them and make the best use of these merits. Sadhu. with this wholesome intention that we just cultivated, with the mind calmed down, I invite you all for the Dhamma sharing, for the reflection of Dhamma. And today for this Dhamma sharing, I choose Cunda Sutta, which is Samyukta Nikaya 47:13, Venerable Sāriputta's passing away. So recently I've been hearing many news regarding the passing away of beings. Though it's not just recently, but it has been the nature of the life that those who have taken the birth would grow ill and pass away. And every day, you don't know even the statistics, how many people die. But it's a good practice to cultivate, a good attention, a good topic, a good subject, I would say, to put our attention to and reflect upon, so that it helps us to connect with the Dhamma and our practice and help us get out of the samsara, hopefully. So even in this sutta, uh, let's read it. I would not give spoilers. On one occasion, the Blessed One was staying near Savatthi in Jeta's Grove, Anathapindika's monastery. Now at that time, Venerable Sāriputta was staying among the Magadhans in Nalaka village, deceased, in pain, severely ill. Chunda the novice was his attendant. Then, because of that illness, Venerable Sāriputta totally unbound. So Chunda the novice, taking Venerable Sāriputta's bowl and robes, went to Venerable Ananda in Jeta's Grove, Anathapindika's monastery, near Savatthi, and on arrival, having bowed down to him, sat to one side. As he was sitting there, he said to Venerable Ananda, Venerable Sir, Venerable Sāriputta has totally unbound. Here are his bowl and robes. Chunda, my friend, this news is reason for seeing the Blessed One. Come, let's go to the Blessed One and report this matter to him. Yes, Venerable Sir, Chunda the novice responded to him. So Venerable Ananda and Chunda the novice went to the Blessed One, and on arrival, having bowed down to him, sat to one side. As they were sitting there, Venerable Ananda said to the Blessed One, Lord, just now Chunda the novice said to me, Venerable Sir, Venerable Sāriputta has totally unbound. Here are his bowl, here are his, and robes. It was as if my body were drugged. I lost my bearing. Things weren't clear to me on hearing that Venerable Sāriputta had totally unbound. Now, Venerable Ananda was very, very fondly attached, would say, to Venerable Sāriputta, his dear teacher, who has time and again helped Venerable Ananda to see Dhamma in a clear way, in the right way. And now hearing the news of Venerable Sāriputta's passing away, Venerable Ananda feels very much in the remorse, would say, as if his body were drugged, is what he says. And yeah, somehow that similar feeling arises in our heart, no matter how deeply our practice might be, when we hear the news of our dear friend, family member, our teachers, or somebody, even somebody who has done so much for us, or a humankind in general, who support, like, is a very meaningful gift to the world. That somehow stays with us. That creates some void in our life. Like, oh, this person had so much of life, so much part of my life was filled with this person. even if it is not in the foregrounds, like say some political leader or somebody kind who has done something good for the world. But yeah, that void still gets created and it feels like, oh, things changed. They might not be the same as they were before. And this feeling is kind of an underlying cause of our suffering in most of the ways. And somehow we can see when Ripple Ananda is also feeling, going through the same sorrow. So here is when Ripple Ananda said this to Lord Buddha, Buddha said to him, but Ananda, when he totally unbound, did Sāriputta take the aggregates of virtue along with him? Did he take the aggregate of concentration, discernment, release, the aggregate of knowledge and vision of release along with him? No, Lord. When he totally unbound, Venerable Sariputta didn't take the aggregate of virtue, concentration, discernment, release, the aggregate of knowledge and vision of release along with him. It's just that he was my instructor and counselor, one who exhorted, urged, roused, and encouraged me. He was tireless in teaching the Dhamma, a help to his companion in the holy life. We miss the nourishment of his Dhamma, the wealth of his Dhamma, his help in the Dhamma. So here, Venerable Ananda's sorrow comes from the gratitude. Like it's a wholesome space indeed, where when somebody has done so much, like Venerable Sariputta is also seen as a mother who nurtures the child, the newborn child. And that gratitude is so immense, so deep, and it all makes so much sense. That now Lord Buddha says, but Ananda, haven't I already taught you the state of growing different with regards to all things dear and appealing? The state of separate, becoming, the state of becoming separate, the state of becoming otherwise? What else is there to expect? It's impossible that one could forbid anything born, existent, fabricated, and subject to disintegration from disintegrating. Now, Lord Buddha just bringing the truth. Your emotions, your feelings, you are like melting away like ice kept in the ice kept in the sand. The Lord Buddha just bringing the reality. Yeah, this is how it is. And just because the things are this way, didn't I teach that with regards to all things that are dear and appealing, go separate from it. Don't don't bind onto it. And yeah, we have also heard about this many times, but we still end up getting and this acts as a good and timely reminder that yeah, when if if I am subject to die at this moment, this condition might not arise. But if somebody who we are very directly dependent on to, if they die, if that comes to them, then are we ready to grow different with regards to all that was dear and appealing? The state of becoming separate, the state of becoming otherwise. And then Buddha says, what else is there to expect? He might be coming from a very friendly space, but if we portray like the entire dialogue happening at Jetavana ground, we can also relate with how sensitive and emotional Venerable Ananda must have been feeling. Even though he might be holding himself strong at that moment, but with the sensitive heart, the caring heart, and especially with the heart who feels so dearly for the passing away of his teacher, his Dhamma friend, his Kalyanamita. And how strong this truth is that it's impossible that one would forbid anything born, existent, fabricated, and subject to disintegration from disintegrating. Like anything that has been born is subject to death. Anything that has been fabricated would lead to the end, is subject to cessation also. All those things again coming up very strongly. And somehow it's very good to see and reflect again that, okay, these are the truths of the world, but then how to work ourselves out from it. Like how this can be the reality, but we are not suffering because of it. Like that is what the Buddha's teaching was initially. He just did not open up that, okay, you are born and you would die. The world knew this already. But then because this is the nature that once we are subject to born, we are subject to death also. But then there is a deathless dimension that has been found. So knowing this reality, how to be in a safe space. So coming down, then Lord Buddha says again, therefore, Ananda, each of you should remain with yourself as an island, yourself as in refuge, without anything else as a refuge. Remain with the Dhamma as an island, the island as your refuge, without anything else as a refuge. And how does a monk remain with his self as an island, his self as his refuge, without anything else as his refuge? How does he remain with the Dhamma as an island, the Dhamma as his refuge, without anything else as a refuge? Good question. And I'm happy that Lord Buddha asked himself, so that if he would have left us with not clarifying the things, we would have been wondering, okay, more mysteries to unsolve. But because he shares, let's read forward. There is the case where a monk remains focused on the body in and of itself, ardent, alert, and mindful, subduing greed and distress with reference to the world. He remains focused on feelings, mind, mental qualities in and of themselves, ardent, alert, and mindful, subduing greed and distress with reference to the world. This is how a monk remains with his self as an island, his self as his refuge, without anything else as a refuge, with the Dhamma as an island, the Dhamma as his refuge, without anything else as a refuge. For those who now and or after I am gone remain with their self as an island, their self as their refuge, without anything else as a refuge, with the Dhamma as an island, the Dhamma as their refuge, without anything else as a refuge, they will be the foremost of the monks. Those who are desirous of training. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. This is what the Blessed One said. And I intentionally choose a short sutta with so much of essence and went through it so that we are not rushing ourselves in our discussion, or if there are any questions or comments on anything which people wish to share, but because of the time constraint, we might have some struggles or difficulty. So, like, this was an important turn to understand. Like, I think I missed one part of the sutta, which is like this. Just as if the largest limb were to fall off of a great tree composed of hardwood, standing firm in the same way, Sāriputta has totally unbound from this great Sangha of monks composed of hardwood, standing firm. What else is there to expect? It's impossible that one would forbid anything born, existent, fabricated, and subject to disintegration from disintegrating. And in different ways, Buddha is just sharing that how once things are subject to born, things subject to origination are subject to cessation. And in a way, then we need to grow separate from what is dear and appealing to us. And that's how he also guides us in the mindfulness practice. where like we are being aware or mindful with regards to body, feelings, mind, and mental qualities, so that we can see what we are doing, what our bodies are doing. Like when first time when my meditation teacher introduced me to the meditation part, especially these mindfulness practices, the four satipathanas. And when we were expected to meditate for a long time without getting delusional or passing away in different parts of the world, would say, would just put up the questions about mind and body. And like this was also the way Ajahn Mahabua used to practice and train himself. Like, like knowing, is the mind suffering or is the body suffering? Is the pain arising in the mind? That's why the body is showing the painful sensation, or is the painful sensation in the body which the mind is responding to? And like exploring the truths in these ways help us to know the reality and understand how much we are like clinging to, or how much like the self comes in and start working and take a lead. Okay, Dhamma, you stay away, I take the lead. And this is the best solution. And in all those ways, like I'm appreciating this sutta in a way that first Lord Buddha mentions that you should remain with yourself as an island, yourself as a refuge, without anything else as a refuge. Here Buddha is bringing in the concept of self. In the teachings of non-self, he's asking us to make a self to be our island, like our mainstay, as that self would be our guiding force. First, there should be that willingness that, yes, I want to. Yes, I want to find a way out of the suffering. Yes, I want to see the truth. Yes, I'm looking for the way out of the mess, the samsara. And and then when the mind starts playing trick upon us, that's where the time comes where we remain with the Dhamma as an island, the Dhamma as our refuge, without anything else as a refuge. There might be many tempting offers where sometimes we don't know what would be the right thing to do. Or there comes a time where, okay, I heard many different types of the teaching, but when the situation has arisen, I'm not really sure. But taking few moments, we realize, okay, Dhamma says this. This is skillful. This is to be done by the wise. And this would be harmless. This would be blameless. And like those distinction help us to understand, okay, this is the right course of action to be done here. And that's where we remain with the Dhamma as an island, so that when the waves of the worlds come, when the waves of the affluence hit us, when different strong uh, voices of our family members, say friends, the influential voices comes in and starts pulling us away with variety of different reasons, would say Mara army also. At that time, it's a good to be aware of that. Oh no, I did not take Mar Sharanam Gacchami. I take Buddhang Sharanam Gacchami. I did not go to the Dhamma of the Mara army or the unskillful ways, but I take the refuge of pure Dhamma that is helping me to come out of this samsara. It is helping me in finding the deathless in the dimension of the death. That is a conscious choice that we have to make every time. And all those comes from the practice of mindfulness. And like mindfulness, not just bare empty mindfulness, but then again coming back to the mindfulness of the body in and of itself, ardent, alert, mindful. Every word adding on depth of how precisely we need to follow the instruction. If it would have been just body, we would have been lazy. Yeah, I know, of course, what's happening with the body, and everybody almost have some kind of awareness if they are not just now swallowed by their phone screens and aware of some drama. And if they are a little bit aware, then they have this idea about their body. You can say, like, even people who are practicing yogas or some different practices all across the world. They are being aware of the body in some way or another. But then these instructions are making the Buddha's teachings separate from the variety of the teachings again that are available. So this is where those things can be integrated in as a experience to explore things and see how it affects the body and mind. But then again, we need to be ardent in a way, like there are different understandings of ardent. So I would like to invite also others if they have to share anything about their understanding for the word ardent, like how they understand it. If anybody would like to share. Yes, Daniel, yes.
Thank you. I guess when I think of ardent, I think of the enlightenment factor of energy.
Mm-hmm.
I think of that sort of energetic um, pull, and I think energy is a fine word, but sometimes I think in English it can sound a little too scattered,
Mm-hmm.
whereas I think ardency here or energy here is much more focused and much more consistent. And I think in another sutta, if I'm quoting it correctly, the Buddha said something like, once the mind lets go of all these distracting thoughts, these pleasant and unpleasant feelings,
Mm-hmm.
one discovers tremendous energy because the mind is no longer wasting its energy on these other things and it can focus on other things. And so I guess that's how I think of energy or ardency.
Mm-hmm. Do, yes. It kinds of, uh, that is my screen. I kind of agree with what you shared, and also, um, like from the sutta, or how also I've heard like there is one more analogy that I've heard, like ardent means whatever you are doing it with your complete attention, and you are wanting it to be the best way you did it. So like there are many different ways you are doing it, you are aware of it, but you are doing in the best possible way that you would do. That is like the ardent effort. So with the energy, with the effort, but like putting ourselves in a state where you are doing your best in that case. So ardent, then like with complete alertness again, and with the mindfulness that I'm doing this. So, and the instruction doesn't end just there, but then it goes on to the essence that why we are practicing is to subduing the greed and distress with reference to the world. So then it's again very like would say a sense of the entire practice, as it is what helping us to see, okay, am I clinging, where is my craving, where is my greed, and where because of that greed or craving or clinging that I'm suffering, where there is pressure on my head, where there is some kind of a sorrow or any tension that is arising. And Buddha just not here asking us to let go, but subduing, indeed, letting go. He's not using various kind of a word that he generally uses, but like, come on, put it off. When you are mindful of the body, like when you're mindful of the feeling, again, with the next aspect, it's like gradually growing. First, keep your body calm. First, bring in the feelings. Know that they are calm. You're alert. You're mindful in and of themselves. And then he comes to the mind, who is mostly entangled into the greed and distress part with reference to the world. There can be something like if we say body, then there are like there are different experiences that can come. Like we can be internally in our body and can visualize something, and oh, with regards to the world outside, and that can give us a similar experience. Then there can be like going out in the field in the mud and experiencing it lively in its external terms. So like living it in the mind and then living it in a reality, can also say like that. And in most of the ways, it's like how we are entangled in the greed, how we are still having the passion for regards to the different aspects of the life that are going forward to. And then again bringing into it with the sutta and the sense like how Venerable Sāriputta just passed away in the sutta. And he also like he reached the goal, he already become arhant, so to say, but even he has to put down everything that he has done. And like in the similar way, the clock is ticking for us as well. And like with that limited time, with that limited uh, source of energy, which even we don't know when our time cuts off and what happens next. But then, um, is my screen still sharing or
Yes, yeah, we can see the sutta.
okay, okay. 'Cause- hmm, okay. Yeah, I was not able to access the screen. So now I think it's still visible again, right? Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, so how even while being in the world, by doing certain types of things, while still following our responsibilities, there is still a possible way where we can be separate with things that are dear and appealing. And when the time comes, we can keep that burden down and know that yes, whatever we did with our body, speech, or mind, we were aware of it. We know what we are doing. We are not just carelessly putting forth our actions, but then whatever we did was in accordance with the Dhamma, with accordance with ourself, which wanted our best. And with the good intentions as we spread across, there comes a deep peace. There is no remorse. And that helps us to grow in the confidence basically. Do yes, I'm doing something good. And that is not bringing me sorrow or remorse in after I have done something. And certainly there comes a difficult or challenging times in the life where you feel so stuck and as if the options have been dead or something. But then like that is the time where when we look back and how the good result have bring us some joy and satisfaction, we choose to trust. We choose to trust in the Buddha. We choose to trust the Dhamma. We choose to trust the Sangha and keep going on, like understanding that, oh, the nature of the things is anicca. Good happiness arise, it stays, it pass away. Sadness arise, it stays, it pass away. Like happiness or like suffering, both the aspects of the life, they are impermanent. And not much is in my hand with what is coming from the past karma, but then present karma is in my hand. And I do not allow that past karma to weigh me down with with my present karma. Like, okay, something might be coming in, but I can put it aside. And I know that it is there, that karma is serving me. But then we are also aware that, oh, I have this present karma in my hand and I can do the best of it. So, so our mind can get this training that whatever situation is arising in the hand, we are being calm, we are being stable, and we are not putting that extra burden. Oh, why me? Why is this only happening with me? Oh, this also happens with her. And then just trying to get into some extra entanglement in order to forget that suffering or any attempt to run away from it. Like that is like going in the samsara, a chakra of again avoiding the suffering is like going into the suffering. We don't want to do that. And like as we are just being born and dying, born again and dying again, and we have done this many, many, many times. We again, of course, on going towards the death, not against it. Nobody's getting young. Everybody is moving forward towards getting old, aging, illness, death. Then again, we are moving in the way that we don't want to come back to the suffering, right? We don't want to come back to the samsara with more suffering into it. So how should I um, fabricate my karma in a way that later I'm not regretting, and later I'm not also like getting drawn by the good things that are coming in, so that I'm not being heedless in any way with good or with bad. Because even with the good, if you're like getting swayed by the praise and appreciation and everything, good things coming, we are bound to meet at the next end the criticism, the loss of status, the loss of wealth, etc., etc. And that's where our mind may be completely trained to be stable, to see the deeper meaning of the things, and be growing in the faith in Dhamma, like understanding, no, whatever may come, I'll stay by the Dhamma. Like Dhamma is my main refuge. And slowly trying to allow this affluence as they arise, allowing them to pass away. Like there can be affluence of ignorance arising. And then as they arise, there is lots of restlessness and anxiety that might come up. There might be a strong verge of getting lost in the sensuality that can come up. A sloth and topper is the easiest way out, most accessible. And these hindrances just keep playing a badminton match with us. And we just don't even realize, but they feel so legit, they feel so meaningful, they feel like, yeah, I'm making so much of sense by just going through it again and again. And an initial basis, we also do make sense as we are getting aware, we are knowing of the tendencies, we are knowing what is my habit and tendency, how I evaluate any situation, how I respond to it, what is my view, what is my way of taking decision in order to come out of the suffering instead of going into it. All these are like helpful tools to know more about ourselves, but then there should be a certain stability in the mind that comes with the practicing of the mindfulness that help us to separate ourselves from anything that can just shake us off. And that separation, that stepping back, excuse me, help us to see the things in its real way. And that ability to stand back is like creating an island for ourselves. That is like the island that we create on the basis of the Dhamma. And that's where we go for the refuge. So we are not falling, we are not immediately looking for some help. Okay, now scattered, lost. No, but we are like in every detail as it has been shared. We are trying to know it, and we are trying to sit with it. We are not trying to run away from it. And the more we see, the more we are calm, the more we are able to step out of it, and the more uh, loose or how to say, the world can hold on to us or make us sway with it, but we get a power to step back and say, wait a minute. That sarcastic kid that comes to the mind. And do I really want to do that? Is it really helpful? Do I have any option? And those voices start coming up, and those voices start to help us make the better decisions. Or if it is not needed, then we can put it aside also. Okay, I don't need to speak for everything. Like that was also one of the practice that Lord Buddha used to do. Like with the regard, many different varieties of the question that would come his ways: does the Tagat exist, does not exist, and all kinds of views that the world has in those times. Lord Buddha chose not to see, not to speak in those directions, because and that is the power of the mind. Again, we can see, because he's not getting entangled into anything that comes up to him by anyone. But he is very careful. He's taking his time to decide what would be the best course of action for me to do with this limited amount of a time that he has got on the earth. So it's like again valuing this life that we get, and valuing that how precious this time is, how precious this opportunity is, and how beautiful ground that we get for the practice, and know that what the Dhamma is, what are we doing, what we did with our life also, which might be bringing in some kind of habits and tendencies to arise, especially even when we are meditating. Most of the time our past actions come up, like those tendencies come up, and somehow we have to face them, somehow we have to listen to them, somehow we have to allow our past selves who felt wronged or who felt uh, anything to come up and speak, share. And we need to grow this base where we are not reacting again to those same voices in the same way that we did, but we are taking our time and seeing in accordance with the noble truths that, oh, yeah, with full of empathy, with full of understanding, with not at all in any way wanting to push it away or getting annoyed by those voices or trying to shut it down in any ways. And if it needs to be vulnerable, then we are happy to. We are not faking ourselves to be strong, or oh, it doesn't matter. I don't want that thing to arise. And I forget that thing. No, we are not pushing anything away. That the more we are in the harmony with our life, the more easier it is when the time comes to keep it down, look back, smile, and let go. And that's where we want to be. That we are not judging ourselves, we are not regretting, we are not remorsing at the last time, because those energies just bring us down. That can lead us in all sorts of ways. That those voices and energies makes us vulnerable. So all we want is to be stable. So again, going back to the mindfulness practice, making a safe island for ourselves, staying with ourselves, and then giving that same space and depth with others who are important to us as well. So that even when the time comes to say goodbyes to others, then we are having good memories. Our accounts have been settled. We are not doing X did this to Y, and then Y did this to X, and then X reverts again and does this to Y, and Y gets. We don't want that infinite karma loop to be happy. So there is an escape. There is like understanding what actions are in accordance with the Dhamma, what were not in accordance with the Dhamma, or what actions were bringing us the suffering, what were not bringing us the suffering, and choosing those who brings no suffering, and then using them, like asking for forgiveness, growing in humbleness, compassion, metta. These are all the beautiful qualities that we can grow in, like generosity, mudita, upekha, patience. Some of the things which even I lack, and I'm working on it. But these are good practices indeed. Those give us a good ground and options, like, okay, I can react in this way, but how about I choose to react with patience or upekha or with loving kindness or mudita? And when we start choosing different actions, that's where our mind starts opening up, our heart starts opening up. Oh yeah, she's not choosing the same thing, he's not choosing the same thing again. Maybe yeah, we can do something else. And those small actions make us believe that yeah, maybe if I'm not suffering now, maybe there might be a bigger dimension where we are completely free from the suffering, free from any kinds of sorrow, lamentation, pain, distress, and despair that follows. So when we are not sowing the seeds of sorrow, distress, etc., etc., they are not expected to come up. And even if the suffering arises in accordance with the past karma or in accordance with the anicca nature, like the nature itself is brings me so much suffering, to be honest. But then we don't have to suffer from them. And the best way is also, again, like we practiced this evening, the first meditation session, where we are being totally with ourselves, where we are knowing, we are not abandoning ourselves, our body, our feeling, our mind, our mental state, mental qualities, and more in accordance with the Satipatthana Sutta that has been taught. And I hope everybody here knows, right? Yeah. So aligning with it, but also knowing our own self about where we are, what where we are stuck also, so that we can make that safe island together, remaining as Lord Buddha suggested, to remain with yourself as an island, yourself as your refuge, without anything else as a refuge. That's a good refuge. We slowly start realizing, yeah, that's where we want to be. And in terms of the places where we are ignorant about, remain with the Dhamma as an island, the Dhamma as your refuge, without anything else as a refuge. And that's how Lord Buddha says, for those who now or after I'm gone remains with their self as an island, their self as a refuge, without anything else as their refuge, with the Dhamma as an island, Dhamma as their refuge, without anything else as the refuge, they will be the foremost of the monks, those who are desirous of training. So like you can understand, yeah, this is the way out indeed. This is the training that we have to follow. This is the course that leads us to a safer refuge, which is like unaffected by the ways of the world. So even when the death comes, it's not affecting us, but we are free from it. And there is no way where anything in the world can hold us. Like as it is said in terms of the Nibbana, where there is non-self, such a beautifully touched that where there is nothing that is been describing us in any way, where their heart is holding on to nothing and is free from everything, then where there is nothing arising, there is nothing passing away also. Understanding that there is the unfabricated that can be reached just by a course of action, which is so much in our hands, which is so much possible just with the right course of actions to be followed. So as we all got this beautiful opportunity, as we all like again connected with the sense of how precious the life is, how beautiful Dhamma is, and how we have heard something auspicious, and how we have connected with the pure teachings. May we put an effort in the right directions, and may all these small things that we find very significant and important, may be able to see it with the wisdom, see their true nature, and be able to separate ourselves, separated from everything that is dear and appealing. And may, in this way, may we be free from all the sorrows and suffering that, that comes when we are subject to birth, aging, illness, and death. Wishing you all that most peace and happiness, wishing everyone in the world that most peace and happiness. May everyone grow in the purity, grow in the virtue, grow in the concentration, grow in the wisdom, and make the happily make an end to the suffering and rest in the ultimate peace of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu,
Sadhu,
sadhu.
sadhu, sadhu.
We still have 5 minutes. If there are any comments and questions, we can discuss about it. Anybody wants to share anything? Yes, Richard.
Thank you, Aya. It's important to understand when the Buddha is saying, you know, make yourself as an island, as your refuge. He's not talking about the body.
Mm.
That's why you're doing mindfulness practice of just looking at the body as it is, right? Or you're looking at it says feeling there, but I prefer sensation. You're just looking at the basic sensations as they are. Or you're looking at your chitta, your states of mind, as they arise based on your experience on those sensations. Usually your sensations reflect in an uncontrolled way in your state of mind. Like if you're experiencing maybe some worldly happiness, right? Then you have a lustful mind or something for some enjoyment of the world. Or if you're experiencing some physical pain or something like that, right? Then you have usually have a upset or depressed or angry or something like that. So a state of mind comes along. And so those first three is what he means with make yourself as an island. He's talking about your citta, your mind, focusing in on those three. And then he says, makes the Dharma as the island. And that's the fourth of the mindfulness, right? Mindfulness of the Dhamma. So that's why there's those two distinctions there. So the first three are with the, make yourself as an island, make yourself as a refuge. And the fourth one, the Dharma, is the Dharma itself, because that's more like looking at the objective world and everything. So, anyways, I just want to make that point clear. Thank you very much for listening.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Excellent point indeed, Richard. Like, indeed, we are just taking in an object, we are seeing its nature, and indeed, when the time comes, we have to put this object down as well. So we are not making this body as our object or any island or other objects of contemplation as our island, but then we are just using it as a reference to see the truth, to see the anicca nature, and to see where the work still needs to be done. Where is that attention that is still needs to be marked in order to put off the craving that is still, that the greed or aversion or distress that is still following me because of these vessels, these directions of body, feelings, mind, or say 5 upadana khandas, 5 clinging aggregates of form, feelings, perceptions, fabrications, and consciousness, knowing that, oh, where is the work still not done? And then understanding to letting go is the practice. So where am I still holding on? Why am I still holding on? What is the point where I'm still attracted to that is making me stay in this world or continue into this samsara that brings me suffering? And how long do I want to continue it? So there can be different answers to this, but then each of this acts as an object of contemplation to reflect upon things where we are stuck, so that even though we might be stuck in it for some time, but we are aware that, oh, how I am aware that this would be bringing me suffering, how much I would be going into the suffering because of this, and how, like, knowingly, with awareness, we are working with the objects around. Like, just like the Buddha says, when we touch the coal, burning coal, with not knowing that it's a burning coal, we get burnt more. But when we know, okay, this is the coal and I need to put it on, we are very cautious. We use some technique, and just how much the work needs to be done, we just do that. And in that way, we are not harming ourselves that carelessly. So indeed, when we are aware that, okay, this is the thing that I'm into and this would be bringing me suffering, we are more cautious that in a way that whatever the suffering might be coming to us, it's not in the wildest form, but it's like, yeah, I expected this much of suffering, and it's not just coming in a very raw way, and I'm prepared, and I owe this action for myself. So when we take that ownership, then we are more careful, we are more heedful, and in that way, the suffering that comes is not that big or major. Indeed, yes. So like, it's also there is another analogy where Lord Buddha shares when even he used to like scold somebody or use harsh speech to bring somebody to the conscience, he's doing something strong, would say, but it's not coming from an unskillful space, because he needs to do this in order to help this person come out from certain karma that he might make. But then the space he is accessing that harsh speech is from the space of compassion, from the space of care. So with that heedfulness, we become more careful. And in that way, when we do certain things, we just do it. And when it's done, we let it go. Indeed, like even when we are practicing with the body as a mindfulness, as you mentioned, like just an object. And there would come a time where we have to keep this body and let it go. So any craving or clinging that stays with regards to the body, we can use those different contemplations that are mentioned in Kayanupassana meditation and use it to see the real nature of the body and separate ourselves from having any idea of a self that binds up with this is my body. This needs to be let go of indeed. Thank you. Thank you for bringing it to light. Are there any comments or feedbacks? Also, it's 8:32 now. So maybe now it's a good time, good turn to also say goodbyes. And in the end, I would just like to briefly mention about the event that we are having, which is on 2nd November, which is like Mahapajapati Gautam Buddha Mata movie screening that is happening at Dharma College in Berkeley on Sunday, November 2nd from 2 to 7 p.m., where we would be having a free movie screening. And and there is also a sacred opportunity, a sacred ceremony and meditation session which is offered, where we are having the sacred relics of Mahapajapati Gautami, Avera Bhikkhuni, Upalavana Theri, and also Bhadda Kundalakesi and Bhadda Kachayana or Yashodhara Theri's sacred relics with us, which would be like offered for viewing during the ceremony, hopefully. And in their sacred presence, there would be some Dhamma talk and meditation besides the movie screening. So it would be a fun event, a Dhamma-full event. And we humbly invite you all, if possible, do join us on November 2nd. I think we would be also having live streaming at those times for people who cannot visit us, but those who can, I would love to see you there. We all would love to see you there. With that, have a good night and hope to see you next Saturday, Sunday, hopefully, and on 2nd November if possible. And together pay respect to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Okay. See you all next time. Till then, have a good night, good rest.
Thank you, Aya.
May all beings be happy and well. Sadhu, sadhu.
Like that.